Busy moms on a budget, let's make a quick dinner for a family of 5. First thing you're gonna need, ground turkey, beef, whatever is fine. You can choose whatever you prefer. I tend to go with turkey because it's a little leaner and I'm always looking for a way to cut on the calories. 17 ounces of pasta. I get the big pack from Costco, so I always have pasta that's easy to throw together. Spinach, you need fresh spinach. Parmesan cheese, if you don't care about calories, heavy cream. If you are tracking macros and counting your calories, swap this out for plain Greek yogurt. You also need a half of an onion diced up. Tomato paste, I've used part of this already. I'm frugal. As far as seasonings go, you can use just like Italian seasoning. That's totally fine. I don't have any, so I'm using a mixture of 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of basil, 2 teaspoons of sea salt, and a teaspoon of ground pepper. And I'm going to season my turkey, and then I'm going to brown it. But first, I'm going to chop up the other half of my onion and brown that in a little bit of olive oil. Since I'm in a hurry, I do have a second pot of water so that I can go ahead and boil the pasta. And you're going to reserve a cup of that pasta water after you strain it out. Just put a little bit of olive oil in my Dutch oven, and I'm going to go ahead and get my onion browning. I'm going to salt my pasta water. Everything I've ever known about salt and pasta water is you're supposed to make your pasta water like ocean water, very salty. Once your onions start to take a little bit of browning on, this is when we're going to go ahead and add in our ground meat. You want to do it in batches. You've got 3 pounds of turkey. That way it doesn't like boil in here. Sometimes if you put too much meat in, it just kind of boils and it's fine. It won't ruin it, but I prefer it this way. I think it's just a little bit better. Okay, we've got boiling water here. So let's go ahead and get our pasta in. Give it a little stirry stir. Another really important thing, if you're working with beef, it can be a little on the rare side. We don't want rare turkey. Nope. Or chicken. Also, if you like my apron and you follow me on TikTok, it's in my TikTok shop. Isn't it cute? Feel very cute, Christmassy, stabby. Just kidding, not stabby. I don't know. Could be. You never know. Depends on the minute. Depends on the minute. All right, we're cooking. Oh, it's such a dumb statement. Okay, we're gonna dump in our first batch into the second batch. Now you need your tomato paste. For every pound of meat you have, you want 2 tablespoons. This is really not an accurate measurement, so just leave me alone. That's probably about right. See, this is what happens. You cook enough, so you start to know. You're like, oh, that's about right. That's why I can't bake, to save my life. Okay, we're gonna turn this down because we need some pasta water, and the pasta water is not ready yet. No, it's not. I don't even need a timer. I can tell. I can tell by looking at it. Just like I can tell when my 14-year-old is on. Then we're gonna add the pasta water, and then we'll add the cream or the Greek yogurt. Again, don't get vanilla, that would be gross. We're gonna strain our pasta, but I have a little trick to do that for you. Take your measuring cup, put it under your strainer, okay? Make it easy. That way you don't have to like dip it out of the pot. We're just gonna pour it right over like this, and it's gonna collect all that goodness. Okay, I've got my cup of pasta water. I'm just gonna pour it on into my cooked ground meat. I'm using cream. You don't have to. You can go lower calorie and use Greek yogurt, totally fine. The recipe calls for a cup. I'm gonna use a half a cup. You know why? Because, no, I'm gonna go 3/4 of a cup. Because I'm going to also use some fresh mozzarella cheese. This is where we're at so far. It's not like all that appetizing looking, but it will be. At this point, we're gonna put our spinach in. It calls for 4 cups. Do you think we're measuring? No, we are not measuring. Why are we not measuring? Because we don't care, because we can put more than 4 cups in. It's totally fine. Probably gonna put all of it. Ta-da. You want this to start kind of wilting. Takes a minute. Okay, started to incorporate my spinach. I'm gonna throw in fresh mozzarella. Nope, we are not, because it says it's expired. We bought it today. Okay, since we aren't using the expired mozzarella, it came from the grocery store literally an hour ago. I'm gonna use a little bit more cream, not much, just a little bit more. And I'm going to sprinkle in Parmesan. This is up to you how much you want. We like lots of Parmesan. And I'm gonna get my pasta dumped in before it gets too cool. Okay, now I'm gonna incorporate this. Let's taste it. I like that it's got protein, carbs, fats, and a vegetable. And technically a fruit with a tomato paste, right? This is a really good bite. That's probably better than the first one I made too. Yum. Yum. Get you some. If you like content from real moms, when we talk about recipes and wellness and mom life and perimenopause and all different things, go ahead and hit follow. It's a good thing.